Midland, Texas. It's July 8th, 2018. Got a quick video here I want to do for you to show you something I think you'll find interesting that I've used in my research into the crimes here. And some people know how to do this already, but others don't, and so it'll be helpful for you. One thing you can do on Facebook, especially when you're running a computer, not a phone, I'm sure you can do it on a phone too, is look at the timeline. Timelines are important, because when things happen, that's important. And so when I shot in January 28, 2012, my phone lines were cut. I called the DEA, right? 2 weeks later, they didn't look. My phone lines are cut and I'm shot, crawl out. God saved my life. Well, I'm out of the hospital and of course not working. I have a lot of time and I've got a splint and wound care and all that going on. Well, got a lot of time on my hands, and I'm trying to figure out what happened, because I was ambushed. They tried to kill me and shoot me by surprise like cowards is what they did. And so I got to looking at my friends' Facebook timelines. That's what this is about, showing you how to look at timelines. And when I was going back in time to right after I shot, I was in the hospital 10 days or so, and I'm looking to see, did anybody say, hey, did you see where Buddy Webb got shot? Because that makes sense, right? I mean, you'd think so. And so here I'm clicking on these Facebook friends, and I'm surfing back, and I'm going to show you how to do that here in a minute. And I never found that. One single time did I find that. But what I did find was that there was a group of them, quite a few of them in this group, the ones that never share my story. Some of them are now blocked for being hateful and rude or calling me crazy, etc., right? And what I found was they were daily posters. You can see that on the timeline. Every day they post something, they comment, whatever. Their timeline has something every single day. And then the day I'm shot, boom, they disappear. They get off Facebook. There's a blank. There's a blank space and time for like 2 weeks to 2 months, and this is a group of people, and so, that's really odd, and I even posted a comment back then saying, sometimes the things that you don't do say more than the things that you do. Well, I did find one comment on a coworker. Okay, I worked for DCP Midstream, and the year before the murder attempt, I had officially informed my supervisor, Dane Wiggins, that I suspected 5 coworkers or knowing who was breaking my home, who was committing these felonies against me before I'm shot. Okay, so I reported this to my company, and there was reasons that there was hints that were dropped, certain statements that were made. They seemed to know what was going on in my home, and when that wouldn't be possible otherwise, and so I was convinced that they knew who was breaking into my home, who was terrorizing me. Because see, the first call for burglary was 14 months before my phone lines are cut and I'm shot. They were terrorizing me over and over and over and over again before I was shot. Okay, and stalking, harassment, all that, and break-ins, etc. Well, anyways, one of them 5 people, okay, that I had reported, I'm looking at her timeline. Her name, and that's the only person that I've called out. Her name is Robin McAllister Steer. She's from here in Odessa, Midland area. And what I find on her timeline is a comment from a guy named Steve Parker. I think she used to work with him at Verizon or Alltel, and she was she was the cell phone administrator at work. She worked in the IT group, and I worked in the IT group. And so she had elevated privileges and access. She could look at my phone logs, okay? She could look at everybody's phone logs because that was her job or whatever. But I find it was her birthday on the day that I'm shot, January 28, 2012. And I find on the birthday application where this guy named Steve Parker, her former co-worker, wrote her and said something, I'll show you here in a minute, and told her to get off of Facebook right when I'm shot, and then I told her, you need to get off of the nasty number. Okay, and that's unknown, but I wondered if the nasty number was my number, if my number was being monitored, because I suspected that level of spying. Okay, and then the order of a person ordering another person to get off of Facebook, and that's what I was seeing with this group of people. So then this theory comes in that I had already been told that are in so many words that a lot of people were here when I shot. You don't know how many lives you ruined with your idiocy. My idiocy was staying home, surviving a murder attempt, right? But how could I ruin lives? Well, there was a lot of people in the underground facility. They were doing something very bad, embarrassing, illegal, etc. And the concern was that was going to be found out what they were doing through the course of the investigation into the capital murder attempt of my life. And so that's what that meant. But bottom line was a lot of people were there. I wondered if these 5 co-workers were there, I wondered if Robin was there and if Steve Parker told her to stay off Facebook. And everybody that was there was told, stay off of Facebook. Now, if I would have survived, if I wouldn't have survived, if I would have died as planned, because they didn't come to my home and cut my phone lines and shoot me, by surprise, planning on me to crawl out and live. You know what I mean? That wasn't self-defense. That was cold-blooded murder. Is what it was. That's why the life insurance booklets were taken, etc. There was a plan, but because I survived, then they were coming up with a plan. They got to come up with a plan. The plan. Everybody that was here, let's don't get on Facebook. Not thinking that I might run across and figure out that these daily posters, all of a sudden, boom, they're gone. So it gives you a short list to ask these people, where were you at on that night? Do you have an alibi? Were you with the murder party? And so here, what I'm going to show you here is how to search timelines. I found a lot of other information on some other things, and I'm going to kind of hit on that too. I'm going to turn the camera around and hold on a second. Okay, here is my Facebook, and everybody's got their own home page. You can click on your own name up here. Right, and it refreshes it. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to scroll down with my mouse, and you see this pop up right here. Do you see that? It says Buddy Wayne Webb Timeline Recent. Okay, so I click on this down arrow, and I can change that. Okay, to whenever I want. Okay, so I can go back to a year, and then it says All Post, and then I can go back to a month. So I can go back and Here's January 29th, 2012. That's actually dated there. Other stuff dated there. And so, anyways, that gives you an idea how to search timelines. What I want to do, see if I can... Robin is not on my friends list. She's never called me. That's a person I thought was my friend, That was the other thing about this group at work, They've never called or there's been a couple that have. And, but basically they just disappeared or whatever, and I think somebody should ask Robin what she knows, where were you at on January 28, 2012? What do you know about a capital murder attempt? Were you with the murder party? And so anyways, and I'm not on her friends list, you can see that, and I'm going to click down and I'm going to see Robin McAllister Steer Timeline Recent, okay? And I showed you how to do this. Go recent. Let's go back to 2012. We're going to go back to the night of the shooting, remember? And we're going to go here to January. And the only post I'm seeing on here is January 27th at Kevin Fowler concert, okay? That's all we got for Robin's. Now let me show you something here, if I can find it here. This is a screenshot that I took back in 2012, of Robin McAllister's timeline. See, I've got her timeline right here. And here's the message right here. Steve Parker, you need to add or delete one friend and get off of the nasty number. Okay, and that's my cell phone administrator. And Steve Parker, belated happy birthday. Don't get on Facebook too often. So this guy, who, former coworker of her, is ordering her to get off of Facebook. And you can see by the... I don't know if this one shows you, but this was posted. Her birthday was January 28th, and this is a birthday app, is what it is. And so this was posted right after I'm shot. I'm shot on January 28th. So right after I'm shot, Steve Parker's telling her to get off of the nasty number, right? And I'm thinking here is probably saying to delete evidence, whatever, and then don't get on Facebook. So did that explain it? Very possibly could have, and maybe we need to ask that question. I've posted this story many times. People have been my friends a long time. And last year when I posted, I saw where Steve Parker died, and I wondered if this guy was the same Steve Parker that was ordering my cell phone administrator to get off of the nasty number and on the day that I'm shot, and to get off of Facebook, and maybe that explained that mysterious gap. So I don't know that, but I did see that this guy right here, and I've seen many times, I see people, anytime I see somebody like that I think's involved die, then, red flags go up. And so that gives you an idea of how to surf the timeline. And that's real important, okay? And so what I want to do here again is I go to my timeline, okay? Here. Buddy, okay. Home, okay, and I go to 2014, okay, and then you're going to find this real interesting. Then I'm going to all post, and I'm going to go to December 2014. This is when the Midland K-9 police officer Chad Simpson murdered his wife, okay, and so I could go back to this month, and you're going to find all my posts on that, okay. And so that is real interesting. And I've got to scroll down and it takes a while, but y'all will find this interesting if you're reading my story. There's a lot of information here. But I'm gonna jump over here where I've already done it. On November 19th, 2014, I just found this post. I did a Facebook post and it called "Ignored by Internal Affairs Email Trail." Okay, and I just ran across this a minute ago on looking at my timeline, getting ready to make this video, and I go, oh wow, look there, here's some emails. These emails disappeared. They've been deleted from my email. Okay, and so that's that was sent to Craig Matthews, the Internal Affairs. I was having communications back and forth with Craig Matthews. I was copying the State Health and Human Services person, Chandra Barnett, on it, and here I copied and pasted these emails. Well, now when you go search my email, my Gmail, they're gone. Somebody hacked into my account and deleted it. And you have to remember that I first gave the FBI IP addresses of people that were hacking into my Gmail in 2012. I knew my email was being hacked. Okay, but why would the hackers, who I think are also the killers, be wanting to delete emails from police, especially Internal Affairs police, unless the Internal Affairs police are involved in the killing of homeowners? And so I just thought that was interesting. I ran across that. I'm gonna probably do a whole nother post on that right there but you can also go back to my timeline and you can read that, and so I'll close that out. Once again, we're in December here, and I'm scrolling through December 24th, okay? And I'm going to jump down. Instead of scrolling down, I'm going to show you I'm already over here. I've already done it, okay, to December 13th, 2014. Keep that date in your mind, 2013, okay, or December 13th, 2014, rape and murder. I posted this yesterday. I posted it many times. Everybody knows the rape and murder story. It's about this young girl murdered at a oil show party after her refusing to prostitute. My friend who was there was afraid to go report it to the police and said high-level police were there, okay? And in the story, I say all you have to do is check my phone records because I got threatened by a police officer if I talked to that witness again. And obviously, he was one of the ones the cop that threatened me was obviously one of the ones involved in the rape and murder of that girl. Well, I posted this. I want you to look at it yourself. You can go to my timeline and read this. December 13th, 2014, I posted the rape and murder story. And it was actually posted here on October 18th, 2014. It's probably when it was posted before. Okay, now I want to show you here, December 13th, 2014, I posted the rape and murder story. Said, hey, just go check my phone records. We'll find out who that cop is. And then 2 days later, boom, Chad Simpson murders his wife and kills himself. And he's a K-9 police officer. Okay, there's one of the secret police in my home's a K-9 police officer. Okay, so a lot of people are thinking, Chad's the one that called me. Chad was the one that was at that oil show party and where my friend was, where the girl was murdered at. And then he threatened me then to not talk to her again. And then I wrote that story, and 2 days later, boom, But also at the same time, you have to remember that Craig Matthews, Internal Affairs, was having conversations with me back and forth. You read that all at the same time. We just found that, and so. I thought y'all would find that interesting. You could go look at the dates. December 13, 2014. Yesterday, I posted a Facebook post, and I said, MPD officer murders wife over rape event. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. December 13th, posted rape and murder story about a girl being raped and murdered with police present. 2 days later, boom. Okay, Midland police officer kills himself, or kills his wife and then kills himself. Okay, and I believe here I have a little meme that I've created. This was a News West 9 post on this Midland police officer shoots wife in apparent murder-suicide. And so, you know, some people say, well, maybe they wanted it was a double murder and it was a cop killer and it was the other secret police. He was going to talk and, you know, they were all going to go to prison. So they just, you know, they got together and just killed them both, and that way to throw it off. And then my private investigator here recently found a witness that would put Chad Simpson at my house, sneaking into my home on January 29th. That's when the secret police were caught sneaking in my house. They tried to disable the camera and got caught on camera sneaking in, stealing evidence. And now it's confirmed that Chad Simpson was one of those secret police in January 29th, 2012. And so we know that. And then it's also interesting here. And once again, this is a Facebook private message to Mayor Morales sent on October 29, 2014. Okay, so we're talking about 5 weeks before Chad murders his wife and kills himself. I sent these pictures of the secret police to Mayor Morales. Can you confirm if any of these people are or were Midland police officers? Okay, and so that's a simple question. He's the mayor. I'm the citizen. Here's the secret police. You know, I'm asking you, confirm or deny, are they Midland police? If they are, we got to have them arrested, because there's no police report showing them in my house. There's no, you know, they stole evidence and, you know, they were secret for 6 years. So I'm asking the mayor, but he never replied. Okay. And then 5 weeks later, one of them in the pictures murders her. So some people are going, you could be charged with second-degree murder for willful neglect of duty. Because if I tell you as a person on the street, you know, here's a secret police gang and you know, this murder attempt and all that, well, you don't have no obligation to do anything. It's just an interesting story. But I tell the mayor who the police department reports to, and I ask you a simple question of if these people that were caught inside my house on a camera were police officers or not, you have an obligation to protect the citizens of Midland. She was a citizen of Midland. I'm a citizen of Midland. You have an obligation to protect her from this murderer right here, Midland K-9 police officer Chad Simpson, and he willfully neglected his duty, resulted in her death. Okay, and so also sent most of the other city council here the same exact, copied and pasted the same exact message. Charlotte Hotchkiss is the only one that replied, and basically she wanted me to resend it, and so I did, but I never got an answer, and even I never ever got an answer. It was a private investigator that finally named the secret police this year, and so that's more stuff you can find on my on my timeline. So I hope this is helpful for you. And there's a lot of information there. If you're a law enforcement officer, if you're a legitimate law enforcement officer, and you're not the kind that sneaks in the home to steal evidence and cover up murder attempts that's going to make your friends rich, you're one of the good police officers that we respect and we hold in high esteem. And then, you know, please investigate. There's some good leads here, and we can stop it. It's believed that these same killers killed the guy before me. They killed that girl at that party. They tried to kill me. I believe they killed others. And this has to stop. It's embarrassing, Midland. It's embarrassing all law enforcement. It's embarrassing Texas. It has to stop. We have to get something done. Buddy Way of Midland, Texas.